Itong ano na to. The date was May 28, 1983. The place, the French Open in Paris. Kathy, scheduled to play Martina, had every reason to believe she'd lose.
Lang siya.
Martina was ranked number 1 in the world. Kathy was ranked 45th. Although Kathy's record was good, it was not perfect. In contrast, Martina had not lost any match all year. In fact, she had won 36 straight matches. Her record in 1982 boasted 90 victories and 3 defeats. She experienced well to the likes of Chris, Lloyd, and Pam Shiver. If all of these facts were not enough to upset Kathy's playing, there was more. They were playing in front of 16,000 and Kathy was only 17 years old. Kathy won the first set 6-4. Martina came back to win the second set 6-0. In the third set, they battled to a 3-3 tie with Martina serving. To everyone's surprise, Kathy won the set and the match.
Ooh.
When asked about her strategy, the 17-year-old replied, "I was playing to win. I'm personally convinced that she won because she expected to win." Expectancy is a great attitude. Evidence is conclusive that employer expectancy has a direct bearing on employee productivity, and teachers' expectancy has a direct bearing on pupil performance. Best of all, your personal expectancy has a direct bearing on your own performance. Plan to win. Expect to win. Believe you will win. And you will be a winner.
Baho pa rin talaga dito, Brad.
Meron pa dyan yung half-hearted effort ba yun? Parang kailangan pa ng tiwala o nagbigay ka ng effort.
Dapat
Yung
lahat.
meron kang in-hold back.
Oo.
Yung dapat lahat.
Dapat lahat, huwag ka na
Ito yung gustong-gusto ko. A friend is a present you give yourself. It is a gift talaga.
Meron pa yan yung a past is the present of the future. A past is the present of the future. Parang yun. Hindi ko lang ma-explain. Ang hirap kasi English. Sa feeling ko maganda.
Ito. If people could only concentrate on their work as wholeheartedly as they concentrate on their worries, success would be assured. Ba yan? Ayoko na mag-ano.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Plenty of people miss their share of happiness. Not because they never found it, but because they didn't stop to enjoy it.
Nabasa mo ba yung about sa can? Yung 2 cans na lang natitira? Yung parang
Dun sa...
trabahante siya sa store.
Tapos bakit siya inaayos or nililinis?
Yung dalawa na lang.
naman.
Tapos pinamukha sa kanya, 24 ang laman ng box na yan, ngayon 2 na lang. Yung 22 na nasold ko, nakuha ko na yung profit niyan. Yung halaga ng 2 yan, pangsweldo.
Parang gano'n.
Pangsweldo kulang pa yan sa babahay ko sa'yo. Ano? Yan ang ibabayad ko sa'yo. Ako kumita na ako. Pero pag ikaw, hindi kita pinasweldo. Parang gano'n yung English kasi.
Kaya mo yun.
Tapos, ano moral?
Nga, parang i-appreciate mo yung mga bagay na akala mo wala ng kwenta.
Kasi ayaw niya nang ayusin kasi 2 na nga lang. Kasi bakit pa ayusin, ganyan.
Okay.
Pero parang at the end of the day, 24 yung nilabas, pero so hindi pa rin tapos. So yung 2 yun, kala mo, konti na lang yun or maliit na lang
May
yun,
halaga
pero
pa
may halaga pa rin talaga
Tsaka
siya.
pangsweldo yan sa'yo.
Oo.
Ganon.
Basa tayo ng mga story. There are men. Ang linis.
Ganyan, ma.
Wala pa
Tingnan mo yung comparison.
Patingin.
Hoy, yung baso!
Layo pa.
Oh my God, ma.
There are many who go sailing through the game of life with the mistaken notion that unless you get good breaks, you will not be successful. My own observation, however, has been the 99% of people who get breaks make those breaks. Years ago, Gibbon noted, the winds and the waves are always on the side of the ablest navigators. Later, someone else rephrased that in a more modern and perhaps a little more cynical fashion. The race does not always go to the strong and to the swift, but that is the way to bet. You might explain this talk about good breaks by saying that the best way to win the race is to prepare to win the race. The best way to get to the top is to get to the bottom of things with conscientious preparation and effort. There is no such thing as a favorable trade wind if you have no idea where you're going. The point that these thinkers are making is that you should decide what you want, work diligently to prepare to reach your objectives, and finally, expect to reach those objectives. Excellent advice from these men of the past. You can do it gradually, day by day, and play by play. If you want to do it, if you will do it, if you work to do it over a sufficiently long period of time, you can do it. May mga magagandang story kasi dito. Nakalimutan ko na alin yung maganda.
Kalimutan ko yung number
Gusto
ng...
make the verse. Ito, yung title nito, Saying No. Does the word no sound like a negative word to you? Of course it does. But there are times when no actually means yes to success. 14-year-old Sandra played a magnificent melody on the piano as the crowd sat quietly and admired her talent. As she finished the song, she received rousing applause. Sandra had received her reward. Not only did she feel the inner satisfaction of knowing that she played well, she was offered the appreciation of the audience as well.
Nakapakilagay mo nga, gumawak ako ng ano eh. Ang paa.
Sandra's skill did not come easy. She has worked more than 4 hours each day for 9 long years in order to play the piano the way she knows how. She now plays. During those years, she said no to many parties, social activities, silly television shows, pointless movies, and hundreds of other time-consuming activities in order to sit home alone and practice. When Sandra says no to those time-wasting activities, she is saying yes to a much more important goal in her life. There you have it. Sometimes, no actually means yes to success. Those who make the worst use of their time are the first to complain of its shortness.
Meron pa dyan yung parang taxi driver na ilang minuto siyang pag walang pasahero, anong ginagawa niya. Spending time magyosi, ganito, ganyan, pero pwede niyang gawin yung bago. Basta,
Ang daming story, no? Ang gaganda ng
hindi
story.
ko kasi maintindihan ko siya.
Tapusin mo kasi, ma.
Natatapos ko siya, pero hindi ko na,
Explain mo.
nakalimutan ko.
Inahiya lang yun siya.
Oo.
Parang
Alam
kasi
niya
mali.
naman yan. Hindi
Okay
yan,
lang
walang
yun.
mali. It's how you interpret things.
Kaya nga, yun yung gusto namin malaman, yung gist.
Gusto ko, look for the strength in people, not weakness. Good, not evil. Most of us find what we search for. Diba?
Totoo.
Ay. Gaganda yung sa umpisa kasi na story nito eh.
Anong oras na kaya ito, ma?
Mga 3 pa lang siguro. Or 2:30 siguro.
Grabe. Sarap.
Ang grown yarn.
Yung growing yarn. Saan na ba ako? 200 na ako eh. Ano pa? Kindness consists of loving people more than they deserve.
I like that.
Can you read? An act of kindness and compassion saved Dr. Pinel's life. Here's the story. It was 18th century Paris. A man named Chevinge was headed for prison, though he had committed no crime. Just weeks before his mind had broken, he was now being taunted by the crowd that watched his sad journey. The prison wagon passed an apartment window where a physician named Pinel saw him. Dr. Pinel was overwhelmed by the utter despair in Chevinge's eyes. Years later, Pinel won the undying gratitude of the mentally ill when he became a prisoner in humane treatment for those suffering that malady. Eventually, he headed the hospital to which Chivin had been taken. When Dr. Pinel found Chivin in a dungeon, he ordered him released. Over the years, protests from the medical community arose again. Pinel's new measurement, on occasion, Pinel was out of the full doctor stated, I owe you my one. Quote, go dungeon. There's the bread cast upon the waters, isn't it? When you do something for someone who cannot immediately return the favor, this is truly an act of love. If you will do what you know is right in an attitude of love, good things will happen for you. Galing sinave niya.
Grabe, ang sarap. Wala na.
Ang laki ng bakante.
Eh?
Ang laki ng bakante ng dalawa.
Oh, ang laki yun, no? Ang dumi, kasi yun yung ingro mo eh. Ang sarap po, wala nang natira.
Na ba ako?
Tulog si Sam?
Ako rin, mapalinis ako mapakuha lang ingron.
Sino? Patingin mo na ng paa mo.
Dito. May ingron ako dito.
Isang piraso. Yung apat niya, walang kukoy.
Grabe, ang lalim ng dumi ng paa mo.
Ang galing.
Tingnan mo yung natanggal. Aka na yung juice mo.
Ew!
Hindi mo mabaho. Nababad. Ito yung mga pag kinukuha ng ibang manikurista, napuputol, tapos tumutubo ang sakit.
Pag hindi nakuha ng buo. Nanana pa yan. Mamaga.
Pero yun yung gusto kong mangyari. Yung may nana, tapos...
Bakit?
Ay naku, ang sarap talaga yung kulkugin. Ang sarap ganun nun. No?
May infection din yun, nakakapatay ng kuko.
Pero wala na akong masyadong kukuma. Ingron na lang yung kunin. Ano pa to?
Kaya naman kasi ng Brenda eh. Top 1 to eh.
Kaya nga.
Kaya kailangan maganda ang kuko.
This quote from Reader's Digest says a lot. Whoever thinks he is too important for small tasks is probably too small for important ones. Ooh. Today, many of our young people have the unrealistic expectation of landing the perfect lifetime job on the first try. The kind of thinking taken too literally can be disastrous. In most cases, the first job doesn't and simply can't offer that much. Employers are far more inclined to hire you for the ideal job if you are already doing a
Na-slow mo, tingnan mo.
Oh my God.
Nakita ko yung mukha
ulo
niya.
ko.
Yung dahan-dahan siya matutumba. Tapos gusto niyang hawakan yung buhok ni Sam.
Oh my God. Nagtama nga.
Kaya nga, andito kasi. Nakita ko yung mukha niya. Gusto niya sabihin, help! Nakita mo siya? Ako nakita ko rin. Last na tingin niya sa akin talaga. Nagagano siya. Tapos dahan-dahan.
Natumba.
Oo, as in. Nandun yung puwet na napag... Kawawa si Sam nun kung nandito yung kamay niya, oh.
Gumanon yung hair ko, may gumanon.
buti na lang may pillow.
So young people, if that first job is honest and doesn't compromise your moral principle, take it. Then give that job everything you've got. From there, you can either move up,
Kasi naman,
move
ba't naman
up
kasi
or
tatlong
out
paa
of that
niyan?
ideal job with a future. So go ahead, get started, and after a lot of persistence and hard work with the right mental attitude, I'll see you at the
Akala ko nasa bunutan mo ko. May gumanon sa hair ko.
Tama ako.
Buti hindi na ilong yun.
Kung hawa ka.
Likot? Naglilinis ako.
Nakita ko kasi mukha niya. Last na tingin niya sa akin. Sabi niya, yung dahan-dahan siya pat-patan ko. Visit.
Visit
Slow
ka.
mo. Dami natin agad nahulog. Ang ganda ng pool, oh. Umaapaw na siya, oh. Patay.
Sinadya ba yun nila, kuya?
Oo,
Sila
yan,
naglagay
bukas
niyan?
ba yan?
Ganyan talaga yung dapat.
Siguro para ma-drain yung mga unwanted pieces sa taas. Oh.
Ano ka?
Sabi mo, sir.
Ito natin, para dito.
Nakakatawa to. Are you the type of person who makes things happen, watches things happen, or doesn't even know what happened? These are the three kinds of people: the doers, the onlookers, and the uninterested.
Again. Sorry. bagong mix.
So, the doers are
Uninterested.
those energetic people who are always willing to try a new approach or test a new product. They are involved in activities with their families and communities. They are genuinely interested in new ideas and in putting those ideas into action. Then there are the onlookers. These are the people who are interested in new ideas but are only interested in watching someone else go to the trouble of testing them.
Habang nakasim.
They want part of the action after the risk is removed, after they know everything is going to work out okay. And finally, the third group is the uninterested. These are the
Gusto ko yung
people.
uninterested.
Oo nga eh. These are the people who are neither interested in testing new ideas nor in watching anyone else do so. They want to coast through life. They never fully understand that the only way to coast is downhill.
Sa tikarin.
Let me urge you today to develop the habit of action and exploration. Yes, it is a choice that is entirely up
Just like
to
mineral
you.
oil.
We become doers by choosing to do.
lang.
Tawag-tawa ako doon sa tatlong ano.
Uninterested.
Uninterested. Ito yung sabi mo, the past is present in the future. An interesting question is whether opportunity lies in the person or in the job. The answer is perhaps that it lies in both. I personally know people in the taxi cab business who are doing well, while many are just eking out an existence. I know people owning service stations who are doing well, but there are others who are going broke. Rather than dwelling on many examples, though, let's take a case in point. I've often wondered, especially at hotels and airports, how a cab driver could sit in the cab for 5 minutes to as long as 3 hours waiting on a fare, doing nothing but smoking, listening to the radio, or walking around in a complete boredom. During the time he is waiting, he could acquire a magnificent education that could qualify him for 101 different and in most cases, better jobs. He could become an expert in computer science or even acquire the basic knowledge for an education in law. Just 15 minutes a day enables the average reader to complete 15 books each year. The point is simple. Regardless of what you do, use your spare time to really get ahead in life.
Ang ganda.
Ang ganda nga.
Ang ganda. Hindi ko lang ma-explain.
Time is essential. Time is
Kain ako
gold.
ng champurado, guys. Ako lang yung nag-i-enjoy sa champurado.
Tawang-tawa talaga sa itsura niya.
Pangit ng buko ko dyan.
Grabe to, oh. Ange. If I am not for myself, who will be? But if I am only for myself, what am I?
Yan,
Ooh.
nabasa ko lang.
Grabe. True though.
Read.
If I'm not for myself, who will be? But if I am only for myself, what am I?
What am I?
Surely, one of the saddest creatures around is the one who called the prisoner of hope. You undoubtedly have seen him. This is the person who hopes that someday a wealthy relative will die and leave him a vast riches. Nakakatawa. The prisoner of hope hopes that someday, walking down the street, he will see a box, will kick the box, and will receive out of it thousands and thousands of dollars, enough to give him security, or he thinks.
Single cutter.
Or so he thinks. He's the kind of person that goes down to the seashore and looks out to see if his ship is coming in, when in reality, he knows that it has never left the port. This is particularly sad because often he has real ability. The prisoner of hope hasn't discovered that if you really want to find a helping hand, you should look down at the end of your own sleeve, because that's where it's going to be. Now, if you will use those hands at the ends of your own sleeves, you will find the answers to many of the problems that have been eluding you to this point in your life. If I'm not for myself, who will be? Totoo naman. But if I'm only for myself, what am I? Ooh. Interesting question. Ooh.
Ito na nga muna.
Paisip yarn?
Yum. Ang linis ng paa, yarn. Grabe to. Good resolutions are easier to break than bad habits. In the game of life, most of us strive for the top and live and work in the hope that we will build successful lives. To accomplish this objective, we must understand that if we do not consciously form good habits, we will unconsciously form bad ones. Every person who has become successful has formed the habit of doing things he either dislikes doing or does not do very well. Interestingly enough, many of the characteristics we acquire are simply the results of bad habits. Fear is a habit. So are self-pity, defeat, anxiety, despair, and hopelessness. Winning, gripping, and complaining are simply bad. Whining, gripping, and complaining are all simply bad habits. Even being negative is a bad habit. You can eliminate these bad habits with two simple resolutions. The resolutions are I can and I will. So make these two resolutions and you will become
Angelia Ong.
an even bigger winner in the game of life.
I will and I can.
I can and I will.
I can and I will because I will.
Karen Ibasco ang galing din mo.
I can and I will.
The micro effort will lead to macro effect. Ano yan?
Macro effect. Matalino talaga yun.
Grabe yung basa kanya. No? Sa Miss Earth.
Sino? Si Miss?
Pero alam
Yun,
mo, maganda
parang
siya
kuko.
super. Ano
Tapos
na,
na.
make-up siguro doon.
Yung makeup niya.
Pagod na kasi siya.
Tsaka hindi, meron din siyang dito, yung kagaya kay Alay. Yung pag ngumiti siya or nag-smile siya, meron siyang dito na parang dating sa, ano is parang older yung mukha niya. Kahit 24 pa lang siya that time, di ba?
Nakakatanda.
Ano yan?
Sa makeup or sa ano. Yun yung kamukha ni Chie. Pag pinalaki yung mukha ni Chie.
Para ko, Karen.
Karen. Hindi.
Sino?
Thank you.
Karen.
Karen Ibasco.
Ganda ng kuko.
Thank you.
Ako rin, ma.
Ganda.
Tingin ma? Ay, taray.
Ay,
Ready na for,
taray.
Top
finals
1.
night.
Top 1.
Patingin ang kuko mo. Baka mamaya kasi sensitive yung kuko mo.
Mga sensitive yung kako niya, meron siyang ingrown.
Sensitive. Ayokong galawin, bebe. Yung dito, paan ng dragon to.
Tayo mo sa akin, ang lalim na nakuha.
Kasi yung sa'yo manicurista talaga kailangan.
Kailangan ko manicurista. Baka mamaya ma-infection pa sa akin. Magang ba kamay ko?
Oo, magaan. May amoy lang yung kamay mo. Nahawa yung papo.
Huwawa. Sarap na feeling, di ba, pag nalinis yung kuko?
Exactly. That's why.
Exactly, boy.
Sarap kay lanisin, kay Elay, ang lapad, oh.
Oo nga eh. Ang dumi pa.
Lanisan kita, Elsa.
Eh, kaya pakapakog na. Bukas
Bawal
naman.
naman kasi.
Bukas na.
Hindi mo nilinisan si Anji kasi.
Hindi, pati nga ng kuko mo.
Delikado rin kasi,
Kasi
parang ang
pagka
nipis ng
malalim
kuko niya
kasi,
eh.
ang nipis, oh.
Hindi, yung kanya kasi may ingrown
Patingin nga sa
siya.
ingroom mo.
Yung dyan sa gilid.
Namamagaw daw.
Takot ako.
Oo, wag. Baby,
Baby pa kasi. Hindi katulad ng mga paa nito, dragon.
Oo. Mga madami ng pinagdaanan.
Oo.
Nakakatakot galawin, tsaka ba mo
Sisi,
malalim.
tumutubo na.
I know. Bukas. Ma, magpahinga ka naman, ma.
Sige, bukas naman. Para may gawin tayo. Kinuha nila yung pitchil, eh.
Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's the courage that counts.
Saan ko ba yung nabasa? Or baka dahil ano mo na?
Nasabi ko na sa'yo.
sabi mo?
Nag-jerbox ako. Wait lang. Punong-puno yung pool.
Life is what you make it. You put it another way, you can change the cards life has dealt you. But you can determine the way you'll play them. When Wendy of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, diba, was a freshman at the University of Florida, she placed third in the girls' state diving championship. She missed first by 2.5 points. Oh, shucks. While swimming in the number 2 spots as only a freshman on the highly competitive Florida swim team, Wendy was carrying a full academic load. Wendy sounds like a happy, positive, capable of making life whatever she wishes it to be, doesn't she? She is such a person. As a matter of fact, Wendy already has made life when she wants it to be.
Pwede na kayong patayin to?
Even though she was born with no arms, Wendy has no arms and yet she enjoys bowling, water skiing, and types at over 45 words a minute. Ooh! She's studying to be the physical therapist, and I'll lay you odds she will make it. Let me encourage you to follow the example of Wendy and think positively about what you want in life. Regardless of the obstacles, remember, life is what you make it.
Tingin niyo, pwede na patayin ng tubig?
Wala naman sinabi si Kuya, sasabihin lang siguro nila yun, baka they want it like to really overflow.
Bunutin ko na to.
Ano yung tanong ko sa'yo? What is the biggest challenge being a teenager nowadays?
Yung biggest challenge?
Knowing what love is.
Aside from that, yung pinaka-challenge talaga is like, to really like, I don't know if this is a challenge struggle, yung sabi mo. Yung struggle siguro if,
She struggles, sige. For you.
for me, kasi palagi akong sinasabihan sa lahat ng gawa ko mali. So I don't know where
Kahit
or
hindi ka
what
teenager,
things
di ba?
did I do right or parang kung saan ako naging tama or mali. O saan like bagay ako naging tama, yung ginawa kong bagay na tama yung nagawa ko.
What do you mean sinasabihan
Kahit
kang
hindi ka
mali
naman
yun?
teenager eh. Kahit laging struggle pa rin yan sa tao.
Parang palagi ako sinasabihan like kahit konting galaw kong mali.
Example.
Basta GCN. Pero sa lahat ng bagay, sinasabihin ako mali yung ginagawa ko. Every time.
It depends upon the person sa nagsabi.
Anong degree? Like, maggawaing bahay, ganun? Or like, all decision?
All aspect. Decision, all aspect.
Then maybe they just really want to pull you down.
Or maybe they want the best for you. 'Cause
Depende
they
sa
think-
taong nagsasabi nga. Kung nanay mo nagsasabi, maybe may
Alam
mga
niya yun.
alam niya yun. Pero kung mga taong kaibigan mo lang, insecure lang yun.
Oo.
They want to protect you and
Case-to-case
concern
basis. Kaya nga sabi ko, example. Kasi sa totoo lang, di ba ka, katulad nung we define our own success, we also define our own happiness. We define by our decisions. But that doesn't mean that if we fail, hanggang dun lang tayo. Sometimes kasi yung failure, it's also a teacher lang for us. Na learning na, oh, it's not a
Tapos,
failure,
palagi
but
akong
maybe, oh, we can
sinasabihan.
do more.
Wala yung sinasabihan na you can already learn by watching people kung ano nangyari sa kanila.
Sinabi ko nga, experience pa din is the best teacher.
Kaya nga.
Kasi magkakaiba naman tayo ng pinanggalingan. Maybe yung, katulad dito, nung 19 years old ako, iba ako sa 19 years old mo ngayon. Pero there are things na hindi ko din alam nung 19 ako na alam mo ngayon. So, magkakaiba talaga tayo ng strengths and weaknesses. Kaya we complement each other and we're still really learning from each other pa din and helping each other out. Kahit 50 ka na, kahit senior ka na, kahit 7 years old ka pa lang, mayroon ka pa ding matututunan. And sometimes, yung naaalala ng mga tao, yes, is yung mga mali mo. Pero, kasi parang pag tama ka, parang hindi mo na kailangan din bang sabihin yun kasi tama na nga. Pero, hindi mo rin alam kung ano yung impact mo doon sa mga taong yun. And buti nga dito sa loob ng bahay, lagi natin nasasabi na I really appreciate you this, by that. So, marami din kami natutunan sa'yo. So, wag mong iisipin na less of a person ka, kung nagkamali ka, or dahil ganun, or dahil tinitreat ka namin na ikaw yung bata dito.
Alam mo,
Gusto lang din namin na mas matuto ka at paglabas mo dito, yun yung totoong buhay. Yun yung gusto namin na maging armored ka para sa totoong challenges.
Yan din yung sinabi ko.
you know what's funny, Ange? Kunwari sa amin, sa team, number 1 ano namin yan? Pag pinapagalitan kami, pinapansin kami ng coach namin in any possible way, we're happy. Kahit sinisigawan niya kami. Kasi alam namin na
Gusto niya kami improve.
gusto niya kami mag-improve.
And nagki-care talaga siya.
Concern siya, may pake talaga siya. Pero once na nawala na, alam mo nang, alam mo na
Na ibig sabihin, hanggang dyan na lang.
Oo,
Yes.
ayaw niya na sa'yo.
Kaya,
Hindi naman, di ba may
Mas
ganun
maganda
eh.
yung nagtitiwala pa rin siya ng
yes.
improvement.
Ibig
Kahit
sabihin,
alam mo yung
kaya mo
galit.
pa.
Oo.
Yeah, same.
Ganyan
Same din
sa-
pag sa
I mean,
pageant.
Ako mas
Yun
gusto
yung
ko
sa
na sinasabi yung mali ko or pinagagalitan
Ako din,
ako.
lagi akong sinasabihan nun dati na parang, sabi ko, dati nagre-reklamo din ako, bakit lagi ako yung pinapagalitan, ganyan-ganyan,
Ay,
yung
sabi
iba,
ko sa'yo,
ganito.
pinapagalitan
Nagre-reklamo ako si Z, sabi ko,
Ako
bakit
din,
pag
hindi
nagtitraining,
naman ako
ganito na lang ako, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos nung after nung pageant, sabi niya, hindi mo ba alam? Kasi number 1 ka sa ganito, ganyan-ganyan. Kaya gusto namin kasi ikaw kaya mo
I-push
pa.
ka pa.
Oo, na parang
May
ikaw.
nakikita pa siya sa'yo
Oo,
na ano,
tas
na
yun,
growth.
na-appreciate ko yun.
Ako
Tsaka, kaya din ayoko din yung kunwari papapiliin kita, ganyan. Ayoko yung mga tao na sinasabi ko, di ba na walang pipiliin or walang paninindigan. Kasi, doon mo makikilala yung tao pag kilala mo na yung sarili niya. Or minsan naman talaga, may mga bagay na hindi naman talaga natin kailangan pumili. Pero since kinukuha ko yung opinion mo, you say it, your opinion. Kasi opinion mo naman yung hinihingi ko eh. Hindi naman yung opinion ko. At iba din yung opinion na,
Meron na ba?
so yun.
Dito ka nga, Ate Bern, sa kabila. That is my weak side.
Meron na ba?
Konti.
Naglumaan ng panahon.
Anong ibig mo sabihin na pinapili?
Bawa, mamili
Kunwari,
ka.
ano gusto mo, hotdog ketchup.
Yeah, they're
Both.
both. I like it both. So,
Ay, kasi tandem sila, yun. O kaya, tosino or langganisa, ano mas gusto mo?
Sino?
O yun. Kasi may sabihin mo, both. Naiirita talaga ako pag alam kong gusto mo, yung mas gusto mo nga. Gaganon ka talaga.
Pero paano pag dalawa sila yung mas gusto mo?
Doon ka na sa loob ng
Answer me. Paano kung yung dalawang yun talaga yung mas gusto mo?
Bakit mas gusto mo yung
titimbangin
dalawa?
mo, alin or
Pag-isipan mo
sino
naman
ang
po.
mas pinaka.
Gusto mo naman siya both. Pero laging merong mas. Or depende lang sa mood mo ngayon. Parang mas gusto ko ngayon yung tosino. Kasi yung tosino parang manamis-namis. Yung longganisa kasi minsan ang bawal ng hininga ko. Parang ganun. Pero gusto mo pa rin both.
Ako gusto ko yung langganisang matamis.
Yung ano, yung bilog o yung mahaba.
Yung bilog.
Same tayo. Pero
Ako
Isa
gusto
yun
ko
sa
yung
amin.
Yeah,
gusto ko yung ano, yung garlic langgonesa.
sarap.
Sarap.
Sarap nun.
Oo, pag
Ganun, ganun din yun.
Tapos toasted ng konti.
Ano kaya yung Pablo ni Mayor?
Ang ayaw ko yung nabibilis palengke yung hati-hati. Yung sobrang haba, parang ano ng kabayo.
Parang, yung
Hindi
friend
talaga
ko,
Hindi ko sure.
meron silang longganisa business. Tapos nag-grind siya nasama yung isang daliri. Oh,
Ew.
kaya parang,
Nag-iba na yung ano mo sa tingin sa longganisa?
parang
Dami
naalala
nangyayari.
ko lang.
May nga mga
Mismo
dito,
kaibigan mo
mauna
talaga,
tanggal.
sumama.
Yung middle.
May kwento dyan dito. Yun.
Sumama sa laman.
Okay. Say stop.
Stop.
Win. The date was May 28, 1983. The place, the French Open in Paris. Top na lang eh. Ito na lang isa. Get a job. Looking for a job. All of us have looked for a job at one time or another and know it can be a frightening and discouraging experience. There are many do's and don'ts when it comes to job hunting. However, if you will keep a few pointers in mind, you may be very happily surprised to find that you can get the job that you are looking for. First of all, it's always good to have a brief resume. Type up your work experience and have it ready for the prospective employer. Almost every employer wants to know something about the background of the job applicants. Your resume should be clear, honest, and simple, without gimmicks. State your past experience with an emphasis on specific positive results that you were able to bring about for the past employers. Another tip to remember is to always dress your best. The first impression is very important,
Oh my God,
and even
ang
if
laki
you
ng
happen to be overdressed for
Ah,
the
laki
job.
na bubuyo. Oh my God!
It's not.
It's a B.
Oh my God.
B-U-T-T-E.
Ala,
L-Y, butterfly.
Feeling butterfly ka.
Asan na?
the world is not ending yet. Because there are still
May bees pa. The employer will know you're sincere and eager to give a good appearance. Most importantly, expect to get the job. Remember that now over 100 million Americans are gainfully employed. In addition, since the overall average job turnover is about 20% each year, due to death, retirement, transfer, firings, resignations, and new job creation, this means that roughly 1.65 million new job openings are created every month. Surely you can get one of them. Finally, be enthusiastic. Even if you don't have the experience, almost every employer that I know is eager to give a sincere and enthusiastic employees on the payroll. Deal with stress. All of us face moments of stress and strain in our daily activities. According to the experts, a little stress is actually good. But too much stress and strain will cause you to lose sleep, make you edgy and irritable, and give you high blood pressure. Here are 2 ways to cut down on the stress and keep yourself on an even keel. First, deal with the cause of the stress. Is your primary problem today a misunderstanding with a coworker or a family member? If so, take time to talk about the problem. It's best to swallow your pride, sum up your courage, and deal honestly with the conflict. Chances are excellent the problem is far less than you think. Perhaps even a simple case for the miscommunication, nip the problem in the bud. If you let it build in your mind, it causes unneeded and
Lalaki ng bubuyog.
Oh my God.
stress. The Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Nasa Bible pala yun. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. And that's a good advice. 2, find a pressure release. Take time to get away from it all for just a moment each day. Perhaps some quiet reading, prayer or relaxation, exercise like jogging, swimming, fast walking,
Paano palabas.
or bicycling.
Kasi nandito yung bahay
Can work
niya.
wonders in it. You'll be amazed and delighted with the results. I hope these tips will help you cope up with the tension that is natural part of taking on a true. Okay, how to deal with stress in PBB? Ha?
Ano? Yeah? Yung bangaw feeling,
Butterfly. Truth.
Pero mas maganda yan. Hinabol kaya ako niya sa Japan. Bubuyog. Laki.
Nakuha mo.
Nangahabol ng bubuyog sa Japan brands, no?
Lalo yung uwak.
Pati matanda, hinabol din ako sa Japan. Nagtapon ako ng sigarilyo sa
Kami, hinabol kami ng uwak eh.
Kaya,
uwa?
magalit na galit yung matanda.
Japan?
Nagtapon ako sa kanal ng sigarilyo. Bawal pala yun.
Normal citizen lang humabol sa'yo? They're like that, no?
Ha? Ano?
Kasi nagtapon sila ng sigarilyo sa karan ng bahay.
Sa harap ng bahay?
Sa kanal, kanal. Tapat.
Linis kasi, no?
Malinis siya sa Japan eh.
Sobrang linis.
Meron nga sila mga kanal na may mga koipi.
There is at least one Miss America who believes that inner beauty is just as important as the outer beauty. Donna Axum grew up in the small town in Arkansas, and like many girls in their adolescent years, she was very, very shy and unsure of her own place in life. Donna did not perceive herself as a beauty queen. As a matter of fact, she thought she was unattractive. But Donna had something that proved far more powerful than mere physical beauty. An inner charm and radiance, an inner glow that she believed could be brought to the surface. She decided to try to bring her inner beauty out. After several months of physical exercise and effort learning the pageant skills of walking and standing, she entered a beauty contest. Donna lost that first contest, but that didn't discourage her. She entered another and another and another, and finally in 1963, After 16 pageants,
Wow.
she became Miss Arkansas. And yes, she then became Miss America. That same inner glow, charm, and considerable amount of hard work also has made her successful platform speaker and TV personality, now with her own program. The really good news, though, is that there is a presence, a glow that is inside in each and every one of us. Finding your own inner beauty and bringing it to the surface might not make you a Miss America, but it will make you a winner. Ooh, and inner beauty.
Nakakatawa sa Ate Brans na yung pinag-aanohan natin.
Closed doors, bow.
Nakita kan basa ko yun.
Most people have a dream of starting their own business. Eldon Camp had been thinking about the possibilities for a long time when he was seriously injured in his work as a barge captain on the Mississippi River. He was afraid the accident would mean the end of his business. After months of painful surgery and convalescing, the future looked rather bleak. But Eldon had always been handy with woodwork. He began to tinker a bit with cabinet making in his spare time. He carved some ornaments for the new home for a friend, and they were really skillfully done, and that he got another order and then another. It wasn't long enough before Eldon had to hire a helper to keep him with orders for his hand-carved wooden ornaments for the new homes.
Miss na. Nakakama.
Wednesday na ngayon. After Wednesday, Thursday.
Woodwork shop and has opened
Thursday na bukas. Tapos.
Eldon Camp's accident did not end his career as a barge captain, but it launched him on the what promised to be an
Magpa-five
more
na.
successful career in an entirely different field. It often happens.
Iniisip
that
siguro tayo
when
ng housemates
doors
ngayon.
close,
Wala eh.
a window
Kaya boring naman.
Boring nila
Boring.
na yun.
For sure. Magpapasok kayo tayong confession room yan. Tapos na yung setup.
Ang ganda ng ganyan kahit sobrang kapal ng kilay mo. Pero may nakalagay na brown.
Oo nga. Yung brown,
Hindi siya
hiningi ko
matapang.
kay Kuya. Pwede na siguro magbura ng makeup, no?
Kanina pa kami nagdun.
Katinam ka. Iyayo ko rin ng makeup.
Wala na.
Tapos
matulog.
last challenge,
Matulog.
swimming pool. Patay na ako.
Lapang naman.
Kaya pinupuno eh, para di ka talaga makalangoy.
Nililinis yan siguro. Kasi magkakaroon tayo ng pool party. Char.
For the new year.
5 na lang.
Grabe talaga yung ano. Ano na nga ba yun? Soldier ba yun? Grabe. Nakalimutan ko na. True to life story.
Chun, Jo-chan.
Yung ano ni Angelina Jolie,
Daton.
yung parang
Daton yun or
mentor
Doton?
niya. Hope. Ha?
Daton or Doton? Ano ba?
Hindi ko alam.
D-U-T-T-O-N.
Tanungin natin siya.
D.U.
D-U. Daton.
Daton?
Hindi ko alam. Duton.
June Dutton penned. Hope is a
Juta!
handful of dreams. Hope is a patient heart. Hope is a cure for sadness. A mender of broken hearts. Hope is a strength to persevere. Para sa akin to but... Okay, let's read it. I would like to add the hope is Dennis Walters. Ito yata yung nabasa mo, no? Hope is Dennis Walters. Dennis Walters was one of the most promising young golfers in the country until disaster struck. Yeah, you read this. In 1974, he was involved with a freak golf cart accident that paralyzed both his legs, but Dennis was not content to watch golf. His goal was to be a golf instructor. Now, that's quite a goal for a person with paralyzed legs. Dennis learned how to hit golf balls from sitting position. He designed a swivel seat for his golf cart. He learned how to leave the golf cart by walking with crutches and then to put with one hand. Today, 30-year-old Dennis Walters. Walters, no? Walters pag-pronounce or Walter? Yung may S. Walter. Walters.
Ano yun eh? Apelido niya yun eh.
Pero di ba yung sa Walter Smart, it's Walter Mart.
Walter.
Wala, hindi silent S yung S.
Okay, di Walter.
Walter na lang. Walter plays 18 holes in a low 70s. He drives 250 yards from a sitting
Grabe
position.
yung 250 yards.
Marami yan.
Malayo yun. Ako nga, nakatayo ako. Siguro mga 200 yards lang yung akin. Isipin mo siya nakaupo, naka 250 yards siya.
He's not only a golf instructor in Florida,
Crazy.
but is also one of only 4 players in the United States who
19
can
ano
make a
yan?
living from golf exhibitions. Dennis Walter is a man with hope. What he has done gives all of us hope.
What year? Imagine mo,
1974.
1974, OMG.
Oh my.
But now, mga drive, easy, mga 350.
And seeing the reaching. I've been promoting the power of positive thinking for a long time. I have solid evidence that you will perform exactly as you program your mind to perform.
It is true.
You do this by mentally seeing an end result before you take the physical action. Jack Nicklaus sees the golf ball in a cup before he puts.
Pots.
Putts yung pag ganun?
Pot is pot. Pag nasa green ka na nung may butas, you pot it.
That's pot.
That's potting.
Okay.
The pot is na ganun.
So,
Yung
merong...
pag-hit sa kanya, pot yun? Or yung...
So, kunwari, yung... Depende. Unang titira, depende kung gaano kalayo, i-drive mo siya. So, ibig sabihin, yung drive, may certain na golf club na driver yung tawag. Tapos, merong mga irons, pag depende sa distance, merong may mga... basta different. Iba-iba. Tapos, pag nasa green ka, around the green ka na yung tawag doon. Ando na yung hole, ganyan. So, ipapot mo na siya. So, potting yung tawag.
Pat yung hina lang yung
Pero
ganun.
yung hit mo,
of like making it
pag ganun lang. Pero yung sa swing talaga pag ganyan.
Tapos yung sa mahina, swift lang. Naman.
Silagyan mo pa ng gamot yung matatagal.
Pot. Si Rafael Siptin, pag-pronounce ito? Siptine.
Walang septic.
Sees the ball sailing through the uprights before he kicks. Si Moses Malone. Correct? Malone. Sees the ball swishing through the net before he shots. Mr. Maxwell Maltz in his excellent book, Psychocybernetics.
Naisip ko tuloy.
What word is this?
Grabe siguro yung feeling ni Ben na
For scientific research about the mental training that athletes often use. Tests have shown that a basketball player who actually practiced for free throws and only a slight edge over those who practice primarily in the mind's eye. In process works great athletes and it will work for you in your everyday behavior. You can code your mind
Sabi niya lang.
winner, which is
Inaano
first
niya
and
lang
most
yun.
important step in becoming a winner. Practice positive thinking and positive projection.
He knows all of us. Kasi nga, na-follow niya na nga tayo lahat daw.
Nakita
Kuya,
lang tayo pero hindi
Si
na tayo
Kuya
kilala.
Jordan,
Hindi tayo kilala,
si
pero
Kuya
alam niya yung
Jordan
background.
pala is one of my top gifters din.
Oo, nasabi mo na 32 times.
Way before.
Way before.
Pa sa kanya. Siguro sila kilala, artista kasi sila.
Oo, tsaka sa Kumu.
Sa Kumu.
Hindi matagal na sila nagkukumo.
Di, 3 months pa ako nagkukumu.
Kasi nagkakamping siya. Pero nagkakamping ko din.
Kuya, papatayin
Isang
mo ba
beses
yung
lang,
tubig sa
tapos
puso?
sabay kami ni Cades.
Bakit? Sobra-sobra na.
Women.
With more and more women entering the job market today,
Gugutom ako, yung bang ako dumabasa.
Oo, sarcastic.
See?
Si Jay.
Dami niyang sarcastic moment. Walang nakakapansin na sarcastic na pala siya.
He is always. He is always like that.
Nakalala niya tayo, pero grabe yung kaibig siguro na yung sa PO. Grabe. Gusto niyo tinapay, tsaka itlog.
With more and
Kita mo
more
yan?
history in
Ano gusto mo lutuin, ma?
the question
Hindi scrambled egg ako.
we have to ask is,
Tas
are
egg.
problems
Tas
in
itlog.
businesses any different for women than for men?
That's kinda that
Very sexist.
yeah, that book.
Yes,
It's been how many years na rin yung book na yun. That's why medyo gender rin talaga siya. Kasi it's always men.
Pero yes,
scrambled egg
indeed,
ako.
women are different.
ako,
But
tsaka-
for that, we men will always be grateful.
Scrambled egg, tsaka
Pero sa
tinapay.
babasa ay naiinis
Magdadala
ako.
ako dito.
Mag-banana pancake
However,
naman, daming
pero
banana.
dili pala. Meron pala pa.
Parang hindi ko tayo, wala tayong gatas eh.
Okay.
Sorry, ma. Pero however, there are
Lagyan
many
mo naman
areas
ng
which
ng
both men
banana.
and women should have the same attitude. Success principles are the same for women as they are for men. But none of this principle works unless those that use them know exactly where they're going. This means that a person shouldn't launch into a new career unless he or she has a clear-cut plan of goals that are
ko muna, tanggalin
to accomplish. According to Helen Macklin, Vice President of an executive search firm, women
Later
are
na
less likely to have career plans.
Kasi
Pare ka
nakamake-up
muna.
pala.
This is so very
Hindi, tuhod
sexist.
lang.
Women are less to have career plans. It is
Bago
very
matulog.
important for any person on the way.
Women.
Women ba? Oh, women pala.
Women.
Women are less likely to have career plans. Naiinis ako!
That's what year pa kasi?
Walang nakalagay year.
No. I mean the book itself.
It's all an old book.
Yeah! Ilang araw na lang, bagong taon na. Grabe, no? Excited na ba kayo sa mga paputok? Nako, bago yan, pilian muna tayo dito lang sa Community Decides. Kaboom! Well, day 75 na, kaya sagutin na ang katanungan ni Big Brother. Question is, sinong housemate ang gusto niyong mamuno sa paghahanda ng kanilang New Year's Eve party? It is 2022. Para sumagot sa katanungan na yan, i-check nyo lamang ang gift tab doon sa baba to send the assigned virtual gift for the housemate of your choice. Nandyan po. Tinuturo na ng araw, kaya you better vote right now, mga kapamilya. Tandaan nyo, you have the power to choose. Dito lang sa Community Decides. At maliban dyan, please patuloy lang na makisaya sa ating online universe using our official hashtag na PBB Community LS Day 75. And I'll see you later for more updates. Ako po si Robert D. para lang sa PBB Community Season 10. Tuloy pa rin ang pilian at tuloy rin ang mga kaganapan sa BNK. Let's go!
When we're right. All of us are a pain
sa sarili mo
to
lang
live
naman
with
malalaman
when
mo eh.
we're wrong.
People wouldn't know kung
And
nagpapakatotoo o hindi kasi lalong-lalo na, di ba? Sa lahat
When
na nandito tayo sa game.
This is
Hindi na alam if
probably
you're
the
acting
reason
or you're just being true to
Chaplain
yourself.
Peter
Diba? Walang ibang
Marshall
makakapagsabi niyan
prayed,
kundi ikaw lang
Lord,
or
when
Diyos.
we were wrong,
Na?
make us willing
Paano
to
pag
change.
sinabi
And
ni
when we
Ian
were
na,
right, make us
ngayon na
easy to
napanood ko
live
na
with.
lahat.
That
Masama
touches
pa rin ba ang loob mo sa
a sensitive
Tingin mo ba
nerve,
yung
doesn't it?
nagpapakatotoo?
It's hard
It's
to
how you
resist
take it. Wow!
Wow.
starting when
Iba din talaga, girlfriend din talaga to
we've
si
been
Girlfriend
proven
here.
right. Parents teach children how to be good losers
Iiyak ako ng ganon
because
na hindi
they
totoo.
know that the kids will sometimes lose and they need to learn how. But I think we parents often fail to teach them another important lesson is how to win.
Sabi ko nga
How
eh,
to
kung
be
wala akong
gracious
jowa,
winner.
I
How
would
to be
say
a
na yung
gracious
nararamdaman ko
winner.
kay
It is
Ian is
because we
girlfriend
are
material
not
or
sure
mahal ko na talaga siya
how
bilang
to
jowa.
win
It's just that
gracefully
masyado ng
ourselves.
practical yung
Humility
pagmamahal
is
ko sa
much
kanya.
desired.
Yung
It's a
practical
much
ako na
desired
mahal ko siya pero
characteristic.
imposible na mamaging kami.
It should be
Una-una may jowa
fairly
ako, pangalawa,
easy
alam mo,
to
hindi niya ako
acquire
gugustuhin
because
as
most
jowa.
of us have a
Ganon.
lot to
Pero
be
yung love ko kay
humble
Kelvin
about.
is parang may hope na
No
alam
one
ko,
comes
siya
into
lang
this
yung
world
parang
by himself and no one
nagpakita sa
succeeds or
akin na
even
ganon,
survives
possible
by
na tatagal
himself.
kami.
a truly humble person realize even at successful times that he owes a debt to many others. Additionally, he will not leave this world as a very lonely person because he will have learned the value of others. I encourage you as I encourage myself to practice daily. Being easier to live with.
Pero not to the point na jowa mo.
This is nice.
Meron pa rin talaga ba?
Yeah.
What does delinquency mean?
Delinquency, can you read?
Delinquency?
Mm-mm.
Delinquent, ibig sabihin,
Yung word
yung
lang.
kwent niya,
Ano yun? Hindi ko alam.
Want to reduce delinquency, then teach them how to read. Is this another term of
Very
Parang
ignorance?
fluent, delinquent. Yeah.
Delinquent.
The way you read. Ata.
Oh, the way.
Pag fluent mag-read. Oh, Dr.
Very
Alice
fluent.
Blair, Superintendent of Chicago's District 13, points out that 19% of the teenager male delinquents read below the third grade level. She believes that delinquency is a cry for self-esteem.
True.
Totoo. Students who cannot read have difficulty believing in themselves. In 1971, Dr. Blair took over as principal of George... Paano to i-pronounce? Manier Elementary School in Chicago. A school where preteens gambled in the hallway. Oh my God. Sips wine in the restroom and threw chairs through the windows. At that time, she took charge. Only 3 students of an enrollment of 800 read at grade level. Paano to? After 3 years with Dr. Blair, 50% of the Manier students were reading at grade level or above. Her philosophy is expressed by a sign on her desk. If God had proved permissiveness, He would have given us the 10 suggestions. Dr. Blair is a mixture of